What's a piece of regular household maintenance most people don't know? You should clean your washing machine and dishwasher once a month. And your dryer vent every 6 months. The tubing accumulates a lot of lint that is a fire hazard. Mine is only 5 feet long until it exits the house. The first time I did it I filled 3 grocery bags with lint. There's filters in your dishwasher you can take out. Check your manual. They make special cleaners for both. Follow the direction on the package and consult the manual for each, and clean and check the seals on your dishwasher around the full perimeter of the door. I use a toothbrush to keep mine clean. Testing the temperature and pressure relief valve on your hot water system every 6 months. If you have a storage hot water system, there should be a valve that you need to open every 6 months to make sure it is working in the event of an unexpected pressure or temperature buildup in your tank. Usually involves opening a valve for 30 seconds and letting some hot water come through, ensuring the relief valve isn't blocked due to a buildup of minerals or corrosion. Worst case scenario, it could prevent an explosion in your hot water service. I know a lot of people don't clean out the pipe from the dryer to the outside, but everybody knows to clean the removable lint screen after each load or at least each couple of loads, right? My buddy started exploring to figure out why his dryer wasn't working well. Single-story home, the vent pipe went up into the attic space and just ended. There was a deep and wide pile of loose, fluffy, highly flammable lint everywhere, and it had finally piled up enough to collapse in and block the end of the pipe. Flushed face. I know a lot of people don't clean out the pipe from the dryer to the outside, but everybody knows to clean the removable lint screen after each load or at least each couple of loads, right? My buddy started exploring to figure out why his dryer wasn't working well. Single-story home, the vent pipe went up into the attic space and just ended. There was a deep and wide pile of loose, fluffy, highly flammable lint everywhere, and it had finally piled up enough to collapse in and block the end of the pipe. Flushed face. A, are you okay of all day, then find yourself congested as you wind down for bed? B, are you fine going to bed, but then have to spend 2 minutes coughing up phlegm? It's something in your house. Specifically, dust and mites. Start with where you lounge, for example, your couch, cushions, sofa blankets, and the floor surrounding it. If you wake up fucked up, it's probably your comforter, quilt, pillow, mattress, or bedroom carpet. There are plenty of resources online to help you with what to wash and vacuum. Electrical outlets and switches should be replaced if they are pretty old. I don't think there is a defined time frame, but I'd say 20 or so years. If your house is older and the outlet switches are older, better to replace. Also replaced regardless of age if plugs are loose and outlets or switches are a bit loose. This can be a DIY if you know what you are doing or have worked with electricity before. However, because it can be deadly, don't DIY it if you don't know exactly what you are doing. I have a lot of these. I've sorta had a weird unhealthy obsession with optimizing home maintenance, so I've spent time going through the manuals for all my appliances and reading a lot about it. The one I've never thought of before is lubricating your garage door opener coil. It's memorable because, though it hasn't happened to me yet, the stories of those coils breaking are kinda terrifying. Oh, and quick plug for a super high quality and free app for stuff like this called Upkept. Crap builds up on your faucets and shower heads. Every couple of months, soak them in white vinegar. You take a zippy bag of vinegar, tie it onto the faucet so that it's submerged, leave it there for 15-20 minutes. Then take an old toothbrush and clean off any excess crap. Then run hot water for about 5 minutes. Some of you might notice that your shower head aims better and has a better stream. It's because there's less crap. If you have a septic tank, you need to get it inspected regularly and cleaned, emptied every 3-5 years. Grimacing face, otherwise it can essentially clog, overflow, and even pollute groundwater. My mom found out an elderly relative hadn't cleaned their septic tank in like 20 years and was absolutely freaking out about it on their behalf. I inspect all visible plumbing once a month to check for leaks. Water is the enemy. Change anode rod in the water heater every 3 years. I think it's recommended every 5 years, but the one I need is $19. I also flush it once a year by attaching the garden hose to the drain and letting the water run in it for a while. Get your chimney and fireplaces inspected yearly. Clean if needed. How to turn the water off at the street. Some older homes don't have the shut-off valve in the house, or in our case, it was hidden between gravel and siding on the outside of the house. At the very least, open the meter and see what the shut-off looks like. Some places it's just a quarter-turn handle, Other places you need a special tool which you can get from your water provider. Everything needs cleaned. Everything including walls, ceilings, undersinks, light fixtures, vents, and the space around the water heater. Good housekeeping keeps shit from breaking down as quickly, and saves you a buttload of money in the long run. It also helps you monitor issues. You will notice every wobbly hinge and weird patch in your home. Replace your CO and fire detector batteries annually and then get new detectors, per the manufacturing recommendation. I say this as a person who survived CO in my home. We had 3 CO detectors in our home and one failed, the one that was closest to the source. Had that been our only one, I wouldn't be typing this message. I'll now have 8 of them in our home. Dryer vent cleaning. Fridge whole house water filters. HVAC humidifier filters. AC or dehumidifier condensate pans drains. Coil cleaning of outside condensers. Periodic sewer line septic system service in areas with roots undermining. Removal of lead galvanized piping for the fresh water service. Servicing of the water softener if equipped. Turn your plumbing shut-off valves twice a year. The ones that go to the sink, toilet, etc. If you're in a house there's a valve that feeds the entire house. If they don't get used they'll likely seize and you won't be able to turn off the water when you want to. Or you'll do what I did and twist the handle off and have an unstoppable leak. Install insulating cups over the outdoor hose bibs. This helps to avoid freezing the valve and flooding the lawn on those rare freezing mornings in the southwest. Note that builders do not install anti-freeze valves as they would up north, but we still get some freeze spells. Like we did about 7 years ago. Down to 1 degree Fahrenheit for 3 days. We moved into a place with a UV light in the HVAC, but no one mentioned that the bulbs only last a year. Yes, we should have done our research, it just never crossed our mind. Fast forward a few years and we got an expensive mold problem to deal with instead of a relatively cheap light bulb that needs to be replaced. So many people do not know where their stopcock is, both internal and external. Turn it off occasionally to make sure it works and check that the packing gland isn't leaking when you turn it back on again. It's simple to fix if it does leak. Plenty of YouTube videos on it you can watch first if you're worried about it. Occasionally exercise the individual water shut off on all of the supply lines. Hot and cold on the sinks, toilet supply. The time to find out they are seized or won't seal is not when you have a broken water line or fixture. It may already be too late for some really old valves, which can then leak or break. FYI, put a whole lemon in your garbage disposal to clean it. And every once in a while ice cubes and pour a cup of white vinegar slowly into the disposal. Also a couple times a year open and shut all your water valves to keep them from getting stuck open, under every sink, toilet, and all the ones in the basement. Treat your dishwasher like they do in the soap commercials. Just throw that crusty lasagna dish in there. Where's all that shit go? Down the pipes? Nope, into a trap inside the unit. Don't clean out? Gets clogged, leaks or burns up the pump eventually. Pre-clean your heavy stuff. Lots of good tips here, but I'd add to go around the outside of your home and seal small gaps with steel wool. Mice can get in dime-sized spots. It's never a bad thing to do for preventative critters. Doesn't take that long and will prevent a big hassle and mess later on. Thanks. Clean your chimney. Once a year. Buy the brush and do it yourself. Or hire the professional. For God's sake, people. I recently started volunteering with the fire department and the state of people's chimneys is certain death. I get blank stares when talking about chimney cleaning. Operate the shut-off valves under your toilets and vanity sinks. They will slowly collect sediment. Then when you need them, they will likely either be frozen, or refuse to close completely. Nothing sucks more than attacking a leak, than having the shut-off valves fail. Super easy one to do, but easy to forget. Make sure P-traps have water in them so that you don't have any sewage gases coming into the house. Traps in floor drains or bathrooms and basements can pretty easily dry out if you haven't used them in a few months. Release the pent-up air from your hot water tank. You should have a valve at the top of your hot water tank for releasing the air they build up in the top of your tank. Let it run until water flows out of it. You should do it about once every 6 months. You have an outside AC unit? Pull the fuse to the unit. Carefully unscrew and open the top. And wash the inside fins with a water hose. Don't bend the fins. Do this yearly and it will help with keeping your house a little cooler for a bit less money. Check around outside for bugs going in and out. We had a huge yellow jacket infestation within our walls because there was a hole where our AC unit went into the house. We didn't notice until Yellow Jackets chewed enough and made it into our house. Sanitize, clean your doorknobs regularly, especially the bathroom front knobs. They're probably the thing in your house that gets touched the most by yourself, and usually the thing that all company touches at least once per visit to your house. Just tightening screws all over your house. Tables, chairs, oven door, ceiling fans, handles, doorknobs. If it is screws and moves, it needs tighten. I do it about once a year and I'm always surprised by how many things are not tight anymore. Testing your GFCI breakers and plugs. They're the ones you see in bathrooms, kitchens, and outside. You should press the test and reset buttons on them. They say once a month, but let's be real, once a season. Test your smoke alarms too, checking if the overpressure valve on your water heater is functioning. It's pretty easy to do. Just stand clear of the exit pipe. While rare, it is possible that your water heater will go kaboom if too much pressure builds up. I found a second, completely unhidden but also unknown to me, filter in my Shark Vac 2 days ago. 5 years of dust in it. I couldn't even tell what the filter was made of until I rinsed a ½ inch of dirt off it. Oops! Cleaning out your dryer every year or two. Like, take the front off and vacuum out all the excess lint that trap didn't catch. Dishwasher filter cleaning. Replacing the sacrificial rods in your hot water tank. After buying a house, I have found to be extremely useful in both discovering maintenance tasks and making sure I actually do them regularly. Going into your attic, just to look. All parts of the home to be inspected regularly. So many people haven't been in their attic for years. It can help prevent a simple repair into a costly one. Apparently it's fairly common, at least on here, for people not to know that their bathroom exhaust fan motors will need changed out at least once. How to do it when the motor stops working.